do you know what's interesting? I know we're going to come on and talk about Jack Grealish, but now I get the feeling, I want to hear from the Villa fans, because I might be wrong. I get the feeling that there's almost an acceptance with Jack that he's going to move on, that he's going to go. And I believe that when Jack Grealish, and if this does happen, and when he comes back to Villa Park in a Man City shirt, he will get an unbelievable reception. He will get an unbelievable reception. If Harry Kane leaves Spurs this summer, right, I'd like to think Harry Kane will get an unbelievable reception off the Spurs fans when they hook up, when they meet again down the road. I'm not quite so sure. Listening to and reading some of the text and emails we got coming in, and looking at some of the calls, the way that some of the callers have actually put their point across. Now, I might be wrong here. I might be reading it very wrong. We might get some Villa fans coming on and be gutted if Jack goes, because he signed a new deal. Last year? He signed a new deal. So they might be thinking, hold on a minute, we're not expecting him to go. We're expecting him to stay and be part of this Villa revolution now that's sort of looking like it's starting to take shape.
I think you might have a point, and I think that the summer business will have helped Aston Villa fans come to terms with what looks like an imminent departure for Jack Grealish. Also, I think what they'll do is they think that Jack is more like them. He's like they have gone on and achieved that dream of playing for Aston Villa. He's one of the lads from that area. He's a Villa fan.
Why wouldn't the Spurs fans feel that about Harry?
Because Harry, you can imagine Jack Grealish on a night out. You can't imagine Harry Kane on a night out. Does that make sense? No, you can. So that makes the Villa fans feel he's more one of them. When the Birmingham fan ran on the pitch and belted Jack,
yeah,
and what did Jack do? He got up and scored the winner in that derby. That's a proper Villa legend. That's why it doesn't matter whether he wins something or not. He'll be a Villa legend. When he ran the FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool all those years ago as a young lad, scored the goal at West Ham at the back end of the previous season that I think effectively made sure that they probably wouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, but surely Harry, with the numbers that he's got for Spurs, surely he has paid his dues as a Spurs boy and a Spurs player and someone that the Spurs fans love. Surely he's gone there, he's ticked those boxes.
But I think that Jack has never come out. Listen, he's always said he loved the Villa, but when he was asked about his ambition was to be in the squad for the Euros, rather than. I mean, he was convinced Villa were going to stay up anyway that previous season when we thought the Euro was going to be in 2020. So his main ambition, he was asked at like New Year, what's your New Year's resolution? It was to be in the Euros squad, and he said, well, what about Villa staying up? He said, well, that's going to happen anyway. But if you're expecting loyalty from Jack Grealish, this is the kid who swapped Ireland for England. So you can't. Loyalty's it's a thing that fans want to believe is true, but it isn't true. Doesn't mean I don't think he loves Villa. I think he does.
No.
And I think he's appreciative of everything that's happened at the club and the fans and their love.
Yeah.
But he's also very ambitious.
If this was 5 years ago, and Jack is at a point where he's just come out of the Euros, he's an England international and he's got 100 million quid, it's one of those ones that the Villa fans just, But this Villa team, we've just heard about the players that are coming. Leon Bailey is a very exciting player. Really looking forward to seeing him in a Villa shirt. Emi Buendia, again, as we just heard from the guys there, could represent sensational business if he gets going out the blocks. Clearly, Villa are now being run like a football business that has ambition and sensible ambition. It's also tempered with a little bit of time and giving the manager the freedom and the room to try and gradually grow the club rather than trying to do it overnight. And so for Jack to come out of Villa at this time, they're as strong just at the moment, even though where'd they finish? 10-11. So they were in 11th. Even though, they haven't finished knocking on the doors of the top four, but genuinely, I think most football people would feel that Villa are upwardly mobile now. They're going in the right direction.
I'm not quite so confident on that, and the reason is Buendia. Let's not forget, and he's a terrific player, but he's been a terrific player mainly in the Championship. A couple of seasons either side of their Premier League season, he was brilliant. He was okay in the Premier League, but still got relegated. So if you've got Jack Grealish still in there, with Bailey and Buendia there as well, and Ollie Watkins in front of him, flipping heck, you've got a great attacking lineup. I can't wait to see that, if Grealish stays. You take Grealish out of that, and you're largely relying on Watkins kicking on again and having a better season. Who knows whether that's going to happen. Yeah. Buendia proving himself in the Premier League, which he hasn't done yet. And Bailey, not resurrecting his career, but as we heard from Andy Brassel there, saying the right coaching, you could get the very consistently high-performing game from Leon Bailey. There's a lot riding on that. I think if Grealish goes, Villa stay up. I think if Grealish stays, Villa are top 10.
So you think if Grealish goes, they may be in a position where they're they're peering over their shoulder uncomfortably at some point next year.
Andy, when Villa stayed up the previous season, okay, it went right to the wire. He was arguably the best player in the Premier League
at that time.
He could have won Player of the Year for a side that just stayed up.
Yeah.
So now, all right, I appreciate they've had a season where they finished well clear of Newcastle in 12th. So they were effectively kind of top half, really, Aston Villa. So fair play to them for that season. But you taking Jack Grealish out of that team, he's brilliant, isn't he? Jack Grealish.
He's a sensational player.
I mean, can you really say that a team is going to kick on when you take that much quality out of that team?
It's difficult. Again, I go back to that Kevin Keegan scenario with Andy Cole, and this is one that, again, and there may well be that that Jack Grealish does have the number that Manchester City are prepared to match in his contract, which therefore entitles him to go and to move on. Look, I know how much Jack Grealish means to the Villa fans, the Villa faithful. He's everything to them. However, I get the feeling there's an acceptance that this is going to happen, that this one's going to happen, and the Villa fans are going to have to maybe live with it. But there's a lot of good players coming in. There's a lot of good players coming in. I don't share that. I'm far more optimistic about Villa's chances next season than perhaps without Grealish than yours.
Well, let's see what the fans feel, not just Villa fans as well. 08717 223344. If Grealish goes, what happens to Aston Villa? It's Drive on talkSPORT with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Join over 2 million happy customers by entering your reg number now.